Everybody knows Commissioner Zemsky and Commissioner Ball. If they didn't before today, they do now. And their numerical ratings and standing in the administration. Today's a very exciting day. One of our main focuses is to continue to grow the economy, drive the economy, create jobs. And one of the main economic engines of this state is agriculture. And we want to be at the cutting edge of agricultural development for the economy. And we believe that hemp production has tremendous economic advantages for whatever state is the first to really grow that market. And we want New York to be the first to grow that market. New York has a history of innovation and leadership. We know the hemp market is a very, very big market because we already import close to $1 billion in hemp from other countries. So we want the processors importing hemp from the state of New York. It's that simple. And that means the state that is the first and the most aggressive in developing that market has the economic benefits. And Commissioner Ball and the Department of Agriculture and Commissioner Zemsky and the Economic Development team want to make sure New York is number one. And that's what today is all about.
So with central New York being an epicenter for hemp development, you just tell me, of course, about the assistance of places like Cornell and SUNY Morrisville for taking
Who wants to
steps.
do that? You want to do that?
You know, well, why don't you do it, and then I'll add to it.
Well, totally. You know, we probably have the best land grant system for education and ag research in the country, you know, right here. And with our SUNY system, with Cornell, it's logical to partner with them. And in order to get up to speed and have the high quality production we're going to need, that's a perfectly logical thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take some time to ultimately refine the seed and what the ideal type of seed for the conditions and the weather and the soil in New York State and in the southern tier. And Cornell is actively working on that. We've got an amazing asset in Cornell and their agriculture school and all the research. So it's a natural partnership between the university and industry.
And we already have a very high class grower community here who knows how to do things at a very high level. So I think you couple those two, the intersection of opportunity and timing here is perfect.
And can you re-explain about like the money that was announced today? Is like there's the $10 million for research and production, and then there's this $1 million amount that was going directly to Cornell. Would you mind re-explaining that for me in front of the microphones if you don't mind?
Sure.
Yes.
$10 million overall, with two pots, one of $5 million and another of $5 million. And the research and development part, the $5 million, $1 million of that is going right now into Cornell and SUNY Morrisville to help elevate this research project that we announced today.
And you said the research has already started.
It's already started.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The team here at Cornell and SUNY Morrisville began working on it last year when we had the first go-around of projects. We awarded up to 10 projects around the state last year with the governor's signature and the legislative approval. So that has begun, and already you could see the need to continue the research. And as Howard mentioned, the right cultivars for New York State, the right agronomic conditions for New York State, the timing, and all the rest of it that goes into it.
And Cornell and SUNY Morrisville had gotten approval to receive seeds. That was a big issue, and that now New York State has also applied to
That's correct.
be considered a research.
Those two universities had their DEA permits federally so they could import seed directly. But what we're doing at the department and at the state level is to make sure that the state can do that so that individual growers can have a relationship with the state and be able to have access to the seed as well.
Is there sort of a ballpark for knowing when, for when you might know if New York got the okay?
It's imminent. Daily. We're waiting day to day to find
Good
out.
word, imminent.
Imminent.
Anything else?
Yes, I have a couple off topics, if that's okay.
Please.
Okay. First of all, Governor, can you just make a statement about the Trooper Davis, the shooting death of Trooper Davis?
Look, this is a tremendously sad and tragic and pointless, brutal killing. I mean, this is a public servant who was doing his job. He was responding to a domestic violence call. and he was killed. I mean, if it's tragic for the family, and we're getting prepared for the formal ceremony. But I think it should serve also as a reminder for all of us how dangerous the role of our first responders and the men and women who work in law enforcement, and how deep our respect should be for them. This week we also lost a police officer in New York City who was just brutally shot just because of the uniform. It's a scary world, a scary time that we're living in. There's a lot of anger, a lot of hostility all around. But these are human beings. These are our brothers and sisters. These are fathers and mothers, 3 children for the trooper who was killed. I met the children for the New York City police officer who was killed, twins who were 12 years old. I mean, what do you even say to them? You know, your mother's gone. So it's incredibly sad. And again, our thoughts and prayers, but also for all New Yorkers. Let's remember how brave and the sacrifice that the men and women of law enforcement make.
And following up on that, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Following up on that, the suspect in this particular case was a Fort Drum soldier and someone that had a history of violence and making threats at his middle school. How does someone like this, with this known history, make it through, training and make it through the getting into the Army to begin with? Is there any way to get folks out like this that shouldn't be? Shouldn't carry weapons?
It's a great question. How do they get through the Army? How do they get through employment? It seems more and more we have people who have access to high-capacity weapons who shouldn't have access to high-capacity weapons, and they are in a position to do a tremendous amount of damage. And, it only takes one, and that's the problem. You can have a system that works well 99% of the time. In your question, the U.S. Army, I'm sure, has a system to weed out people who are mentally unstable and mentally ill. But it only takes one, and this is the one. Okay, thanks, guys.
Ed.
One